Question time. Now then, YouTube, question time, Q&A. I did a Q&A quite a few years ago. Did you see it? Well, I tried to look for that video last night and it turns out I've left it private, so I guess you won't be able to see that one. I didn't watch it myself, but basically I asked you lot to ask me some questions and then I made a video about answering them. Well, guess what? We're going to do it again, but it's with a slight twist. What's the twist? Well, I wanted to give my Patreon supporters something back. I've mentioned them once or twice, if you hang on to the end of the videos, that I do have a Patreon now where people can follow me on there and support me with a couple of quid a pint or so, either 1 pint, 2 pint or 3 pint a month, that is the tiers, right? So I said to the Patreons, I'm going to give you something back. We're going to do a Q&A, but you're asking the questions. Now I did stipulate that they had to be good questions. Hey, they've tried their best, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Here are my Patreon's questions, followed by my answers. Right, let's get started then. First of all, from Glenn McAllister. I have a few, so already he's broken rule 1. He's meant to ask a question, but he's asked 2 questions. No, he's asked 3 questions. All right, one of them's crap, so we'll ignore it. Sorry, Glenn. First of all, what is your day job / what did you study? Now that's 2 questions in one, Glenn, so you've actually asked 4 questions here. This is daft. But he is a Patreon subscriber, so, you know, benefit of the doubt. What is your day job / what did you study? I thought this would be pretty obvious to anyone who's been around for a while. Studied French, yeah. Renault Clio and all that, yeah. My job, I work at that, what's it called? La Pasterie Valerie. Valerie's Pasties. That's what it used to be called, but I got involved, obviously with a French degree, put it right, and yeah, doing all right. The second question, which we're going to discard, is what's your 3 favourite memes? Like, come on. Last question, favourite driving song? Back to the memes. Actually, if it's got The Simpsons in, I just use The Simpsons all the time, pretty much. I'd say I like doing Simpsons memes more than anything. Favourite driving song other than engine noise? Again, Glenn, you've made a critical error here, because noise, what's the definition of noise? Unwanted sound, Glenn. So I'll let you off because you're a Patreon, but engine sound would probably the word, wouldn't it? Or the harmony from the engine, or you know, something like that. What's my favourite driving song? No idea. Stella, what's your favourite driving song? Reese Edwards, what are your interests outside of cars? Making YouTube videos. Dan Capes, ultimate free car, oh God. Ultimate free car garage, assuming money is less of an object. Less of an object, but not no object. A, daily. B, weekend. C, track. GT3 RS. Always liked them. Daily, I don't know. Who has time to sit about and think what their ultimate free car garage is going to be? What about these 2? MR2, E46, DC2. Right, okay. Favourite car you have driven that isn't your own? Lawrence's E30 from Anglesey. Quite a recent one, but it was the first one that came to mind. Cool car. What will it take for you to be able to, this is still Dan, he's asked 3 questions in the one. What will it take for you to be able to do YouTube thing full time, mentally, financially, or anything else relevant? Financially, yeah. We need to go about 4 times bigger than what we are, and I can probably do it full time. So, like and subscribe. Mike Taylor, did learning to drift make you a better driver? Yes. 100% yes. Did it make you a faster grip driver? Yeah, it makes you a better driver, more confidence in total. You're just a more confident driver. Of course it makes you a better grip driver. I mean, I think being either good at drifting or fast on track, you've got to have a certain level of confidence in car control. And both grip driving and drifting teach you both of them. So, of course it does. And then he's just gone on to explain his question a little bit, but we'll not worry about that. David Holdway. Three-part question. About the MR2 Championship. Do you post every nugget of information that gives you an advantage on YouTube? Yeah, I've always been open as you can be about everything I've done with the MR2. I was thinking about this for when I did that math testing. And when I did that, I was sure I was going to have a competitive edge on people because I found like 9 brake horsepower from my car. But in the end, I didn't have that competitive edge anyway, and that's why I eventually posted the video. So yeah, I've always been open because it's trial and error, and I think it just adds to the story a bit, doesn't it? And it's one thing copying someone's car, but it's another thing driving it faster than them. Are you concerned that information then public? Well, I've just touched on that, haven't I? Do you think more seasoned racers would be annoyed you're making all the tips and tricks you discover public? I don't think they would be. All of the seasoned racers that I've spoken to are friendly chaps, and they seem to, there's quite a few of them might not be watching this video, but they watch some of my racing videos and that, and seem to quite enjoy them. So I think they quite like what I'm doing. To be honest, just touching back to that, most of the drivers on the grid are pretty open and stuff. They might be hiding some stuff, but they seem to be pretty open about everything they've done to the cars anyway when I've asked them. Craig Mitchell, does the driver that wiped you out at Silverstone face any consequences, or is it just put down to a racing incident? I think, I'm not 100% on this, I never chased anything like this, but I think if you've got a grievance, you have to let the clerk of course know, which is the kind of gaffer from the motor club or from the MSA. You have to let them know after the incident that you're not happy or whatever, and raise it and, tell the teacher basically. And I never did any of that. So, not automatically, but, if I'd have gone and whinged about it maybe, but realistically, no. Joseph Lynch, do you have a bird and does she give you grief for all the car shite all day? Nope. Craig Mitchell again. I've gone in for another question. Will we see you taking on a different race series, or I think you mean will you be in the MR2 long term? If I'm financially stable enough, yeah. But in the immediate, for sure. If my YouTube goes mental, we can race that, but big money to race an M3. The Mick 26. Hey Danny, I have several questions. First one from Mick. How did you meet Josh and Pete from HCR? Good question. Good fellas for sure. Maybe you can tell us the story. I don't really know, Mick, thinking about it. How did I meet Pete and Josh? I think it was on a track day at Teesside properly. Basically, I was at Teesside in my Integra. Josh was there in his Civic Coupe, and we had a good play on track. And we were pretty evenly matched. He could drive pretty well, and it wasn't the usual case of just getting stuck behind someone and getting frustrated. So we had a good time, and I even made a video from that back in the day early on. I must have known him before then, surely, but yeah, it was through the Hondas for sure. It was a Honda thing. B, I believe most of us here will agree you have an excellent taste in music. True. Who was it that initially sent you down the path and turned you on to the good stuff? I'd like to give them a shout out. I don't think it was any one person, to be honest. I guess it's just growing older, and well, I'll tell you what, give a shout out to Spotify if you want, because that's been pretty handy, hasn't it? And then finally, a car-related question. You've driven and raced around some race tracks, yep. Which is your favourite? Nürburgring? Yep. Follow up to the last question. If you could pick any car on any track, where would it be? I would be probably Nürburgring racing, some kind of BMW. Maybe not an M3 or an M4 or something, but anything. I quite like those 325s that they race in the VLNs and all that. They're pretty cool, the E90s. That'd be nice to do. I wouldn't say it's an ultimate dream, but what would be an ultimate dream? Maybe being in the M6. Be with Kev's mate. What's Kev's mate called? The guy who races the M6. Kev's mate. Can't remember his name. Quite a popular guy. Does lots of winning and stuff. I'll be his teammate. Yeah, that'll do. Richard Hunter. He's back. He wants to know more about all the other characters from my videos, like Rolex Dan and the guys at the garage where you fix your good car. Well, you know, I've been doing this YouTube thing for a long time now, and you know, life goes on, doesn't it? Time never stops, and you kind of lose touch with people. Some people don't have the same interests as you a few years down the line. I mean, Rolex Dan, for example, full married man, adult now. And the lads at the garage, Vinny and Steve, they just go shooting stuff all weekend now. And I think they've still got a couple of the cars, but definitely more interested in shotguns, I think, now. Some context and views of the cost benefits of renting a place to work rather than your driveway. It's really hard to find anywhere. I dropped on this one. I've had this question all the time, how did they end up with a corner in a barn? Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know, it's one of them. I didn't know anyone, I dropped on this one. Got lucky, really. And, you know, ultimately I have to share a space, which I don't really like sharing things at the best of times, but, you know, I share this space with people and it's all right. But it's one of them things where it's right place, right time. It worked out quite well for me. Or did it? Maybe without this, how different my life could be, hey? You never know. Came with us. What happened with the little ding dong you had with Alex? So I followed up on this because I weren't sure which Alex he means. I reckon he means the car throttle Alex. And it weren't really a ding dong, was it? It was just, I think it was just me trying to be funny on the internet and it not reaching the south so well. You know, once it got down that far, it might have come off like I was being a bit of a dickhead, but we'll put it in the misunderstood social media banter category. I don't think he hates me or anything. I speak to his mate Jack every now and again, he's pretty sound. Right, more questions. We're on to the second list now. So I've got 11 comments on this one, let's have a look. If you could have a track day in any track car, hang on, we've done this already, haven't we? Or have we? I don't know, have we? Any track day, any track car. Well, I'll go for more of a dream one. I'd like to drive some of the Japanese tracks. I'd like to drive some of the American tracks as well, really. Which one though? Probably Tsukuba. You know which one I mean. See if I can get a sub-minute lap in something, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? What car? Maybe the Pro Spirits 2ZZ MRS? Or maybe an 8.6, I'd have to be an 8.6, wouldn't it? They've got an 8.6 as well. They can bring them both. I'll have a go in them both. 2 Toyotas, Dan, that's insane. Yeah, a little bit, innit? That was Andrew Henderson, aka Mr. J-Spec himself. It's not as comfortable as what I thought it would be, Stella, sat in this fucking thing. Yuri sorry mate. Yuri Hoogieweg. I'm just going to call you Yuri's Revenge if that's all right. I'll just call you Yuri. No Red Alert references, they'll be wasted on you anyway, won't they? Red Alert references, yeah. Engineering. Favourite engine and why is it the 3.2 litre Busso V6? On an entirely unrelated note, when are you getting an Alpha? Well, the Busso V6 is a nice engine, you know, because it's one of them that looks nice when you look at it. Not many engines look nice to the eye, and obviously Alpha put them chromy on it for all the magpies, and it's a nice engine, it sounds nice, isn't it? My favourite engine is not that though. My favourite engine is probably maybe the V10 out of the M5, back to BMWs, just for a, you know, a serious beef of an engine. NA, oh no, hang on.
It's a leafy autumnal day, there's mud on the road. It's been a long, it's a beautifully linear delivery of power from that V12 BMW engine. We'll
go for the McLaren F1 engine, which is again a BMW engine, but it's probably the pinnacle of a naturally aspirated engine, certainly up to now. I think what's his chop's new car is going to be naturally aspirated, isn't it? What's he called? Gordon Murray. I think his new car's NA, isn't it? So that might be the new one, but certainly it'll take some beating to do the McLaren F1's BMW, the V12. Jordan Hewitt, how did you acquire your eclectic music taste? Well, if I can't say the word, I'm going to struggle to tell you what it means, right? Also, favourite band. I don't really have a favourite band. Nirvana? I quite like Nirvana, if I was going to pick one. But then, there's better bands. I know there's better bands. Arctic Monkeys was the favourite band growing up. Favourite YouTube channels? Jeffrey Davis. My favourite YouTube channels are, at the minute, I watch this one guy, I can't remember his name. Oh, there's two guys actually. They're both about planes. One of them's Starships or something. There's this kind of Eastern European / Russian sounding guy, but he's English, speaks English. And he just tells you details about planes, you know, some military and some passenger planes. It's quite interesting. And the other guy does stuff about disasters. AVE, obviously, from the engineering side. Love AVE's videos. Hang on, let me load up YouTube and I'll see what's been recommended, and then we can... H3, I love the H3 podcast. I do like watching the H3 podcast. That's probably, if anything, that's probably the thing I've watched most on YouTube. Skyships Engineering was that other guy I was thinking of. These come straight up on me recommended. Emp Lemon, I've started watching him. Neutral Drop for the car one. I love Neutral Drop.
Without further ado, what you got, Stuntman?
Just daft shit in cars, isn't it? Bright Sun Films, that's all right. Does all about like, abandoned buildings and stuff. Some kid from America. Plainly Difficult, does lots of stuff about nuclear and like radiation accidents. Pretty interesting. PewDiePie. I've not watched PewDiePie that much this year, but spent a long time watching PewDiePie. Not so much playing the games, but you know, doing the daft shit. Good stuff. Yeah, that probably covers it, innit? There's nothing more. It's just going through those channels that I've already mentioned. Video Game Donkey. I'll end on that because he's pretty funny. Video Game Donkey. Ryan Laker. Favourite era of cars. Favourite car you have owned, missed the most. Favourite era, probably what, 90s? 90 to 2005? Is that an era? How long's an era? Is it a decade? Or is it longer than that? If an era is a decade, 90s, but probably more accurately 95 to 2005, probably covers most of the cars I like, which are all the cars that I grew up with, really, aren't they? Favourite car you've owned / missed the most? Probably my first E36, the purple Techno Violet Sport. M3 diff, M50 manifold. I think I was a bit too young to fully appreciate that car when I owned it. Obviously looking back now, you know, it'd be quite a fair car these days if it was still about, but at the same time, I'm glad I did own it when I did, because you know, I think I was 19 or 20 and it was the right car for me at that age. I really loved it. So I guess it's more to do with the memories I've got from doing stuff in that car and, you know, owning it rather than the car itself. But ultimately it was a 328 with an LSD and a shorter gear and stuff like that, so it was pretty cool. And finally, the final question. David Holdway is back for another question. Do you still hate being approached in real life? I remember a video where you went off on a bit of a rant about it. Hate's a strong word. I wouldn't say I hate being approached in real life. It does happen now and again. The problem is, and I reckon a lot of YouTube people have this, because we're filming stuff that we enjoy, the chances are the people who are going to watch the stuff that we enjoy, when we go to public places, track days or, you know, whatever, stuff like that, the people who watch our videos are going to be there. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there who think, that's that guy off of telly, I'm going to go and say hello to him. Yeah, I wouldn't say I hate it. I definitely don't like it, but I've kind of accepted it now. I have to do it now and again, eh? Yeah, I don't like it, but it is what it is. That's the last question, so hope you've enjoyed watching that. Hopefully I got some cool Gran Turismo music in the background. Dog's gone to sleep. That's all good. We must have been here a little bit. Hopefully the camera's still rolling, otherwise I'll have to film this outro again. But thanks to the Patreons for the questions. I'll probably do this again, not too soon obviously, in a few months. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, then the link's in the description, yeah. So you can give me £1 a month if you want. If you enjoy my videos, if I'm going to be knocking out 10 a month or something, which I'm trying to do at the minute, and you think, oh, nice one, Dan, here's a pint. While I'm still small time, the Patreon really does help with pushing me on with this. And that's why I thought it'd be nice to, one, do a quick video like this, because I've not done one for ages. And the last time I think it went down quite well, because you get to know me on a bit more of a personal level, and you'll not come up to me in person now, because you know me, right? And for two, giving something a bit back, you know, to the Patreons. So there we are, chaps. The Integra, I sat here obviously because I'm in front of the two cars, but the cover is actually off because I'm doing work on it. I didn't film it because I need to buy loads of parts still, and you know, I've made so many videos in the past couple of years where I've just done little jobs and the car just looks the same, so I thought I'll wait until I've done some good progress on it. Yeah. So, look forward to that. Alright, thanks for watching then. Ta-ra, goodbye.